morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome, everybody, on this nice, chilly Saturday morning. My name is State Representative Natalie Manley. Senator Bertino-Tarrant asked me to do the welcome, and also, if you wouldn't mind, I know that you're eating, but to stand and I'll lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Food's really good, isn't it? Delicious. Thank you, Senator. I'd like to introduce to you your state senator, Jennifer Bertino-Tarrant.
I was supposed to do, you recognize the
So, thank you, everyone. Oh, you're fine, you're fine. Thank you, everyone, for being here again. This is, it's not as formal. We're a laid-back group here. This is year 3 or 4. I can't. 3. Some of you have been there every year. So, yeah, year 3. And, I have 3 big events. I have the Veterans Breakfast, I have the Kids Expo, I have the Pet Expo, and they're all really great events. And I have to thank Molly back there, Molly from my staff, who does all the legwork, and I just get to walk in and talk. Thank you to Molly for all her hard work. Myers is the one who helped donate to help sponsor the food today, so I appreciate them. It's a very nice offer when someone calls you and says, "Hey, we'd like to help you with some of your events." I said the veterans one would be a wonderful idea, and they said absolutely. So they have been doing this also with me for 3 years. You've met Representative Manley. Most of you know Representative Manley because I know we have people here from obviously Plainfield, but the Romeoville and Joliet area. We also have County Board Member Lauren Staley Ferry, who has volunteered to help us out today, so I appreciate the help. New date, we're on Saturday now, and I'll tell you why I changed it to a Saturday, as I got a phone call at the end of our event last year, a gentleman called and said, I think that's really great that you do it, I appreciate it, but I think you forget some of us work. And I said, that is true. And so I can't be there during the day. I'd like to come. So I don't even know if he's here. He probably isn't even here, but it was a very good suggestion, so that's why we did change it to Saturday. We have a couple, what does change when you have it on the Saturday is people who are able to get here on the weekend, organizations, but I do want to thank 3 organizations that are here. The Home for Heroes Honor Flight of Chicago joined us once again today. The Will County Veterans Assistance is here as well as our friends from Inspire. I know she's here somewhere. There you go. And who's, as well to help us back there. Thank you. And she went to get breakfast. So they help with homes for people, and I think they donate their commission back to military heroes, teachers, police officers, as well as firefighters. So again, I do appreciate you being here. This is a very important event to me. I'll tell you how it started. When I was elected, I went and I have a good friend who's a Marine. I said, I'd like to do something that's special, not maybe during November where everyone else is doing it. And he suggested, well, we always, helping people have access to resources is important. That was one thing. I said, well, second thing too is a lot of things in the state that we do, who can I talk to in regards to finding out what veterans need? And he introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Lynn Lauder, and Lynn was my very first speaker, and he started a organization called One Vet at a Time. And he was a Vietnam Silver Star recipient, Marine, and he's traveling the nation which all started at One Vet at a Time, and he talked about just if you could help one person, one vet who needs your helping hand, we can make a big difference. But he also talked about the entrepreneurial side and said, these veterans come out, or these soldiers come out, and they have a unique skill set. Most of them are young. They try to go to school, but they realize that they're not, they can't maybe adapt to it. It's too maybe sedentary to them. And they have all these skills, and they want to go to work. And so he started a program that helps, he pretty much just helped them get loans and write business plans, and he's expanded that. And he came to me 5 years ago, to say, how can Illinois help with this? A lot of these young folks, too, don't have a lot of collateral. You know, they're making, the ones who come in make the least amount when they leave. And so he was in true form of Marine, and he was diligent, and we were able to pass in Illinois the Veterans Assistance Program that helps them get small business loans. And I've talked about this before, and I'm talking about it again because he took that same initiative that we have here in Illinois, and Representative Manley was my House sponsor, and he went to, I believe it was Minnesota, and now they have adopted it. And now he is starting at the national level. So he's been going to Washington, so all states in the United States can help our veterans get these loans that the state, they're not handouts, they just serve as collateral to these kids. And they're well researched. Like I said, they still have to write business plans, they have to have a mentor, and again, it just allows them to say, here's my plan, this is what I have. The state serves them as collateral. It doesn't take out any of the money that you hear when we talk about the budget. It's a whole different, it's from the Illinois Finance Authority, so it's a whole completely different checkbook. So when you say we're you know, what are we doing? Our money is, we're scarce enough. This is a completely different program, and I'm very proud of the work the Illinois Finance Authority has done, my colleague has done, and I'm forever grateful to Lynn Lauder for having the faith in me to do this, and we've developed a great friendship over the year. Second reason why I like to do this is I always share that my father was a Marine in Korean War, so this is my little tribute to him too, because he's never been able to see me in this role. I always say, everyone said he'd be proud. I said he would be proud, but he would hate the politics of it. You know, I think seeing those flyers and the repeated, the repeated negativity would really, as any father would, kind of bother him. But, so this is also, like I said, he served his country, his friends served his country, you have served our country, so this is a sincere thank you from me. We always have a little program here too, just a 15-minute, you can get food while we talk too. This is, like I said, it's informal, as long as you don't talk. But I'm happy to have this year, Jerry Ann Riesbrook. Jerry Ann, the love of veterans runs deep with Jerry Ann. In fact, it is in her DNA. Her parents were Navy veterans, and the family has a long history of serving. It wasn't until her son joined the Army that she realized the desperate need our troops had for civilian support. In the time it took her son to complete basic training, she formed a group that has taken social media by storm. In 4 short years, Military Mama Network, MMN, built a team of 20,000 members across all 50 states who collaborate to support our military veterans and their families in times of need. It all started with 5 friends who came together for a U.S. soldier in need. With multiple members of her family in the military, Jerry Ann Riesbrook saw an opportunity to do more to serve those who serve our country, and Military Mama Network was born. Her mission is to ensure no person is left behind. She oversees a large network of nearly 20,000 people with the mission of supporting troops, veterans, and families. She coordinates donations, financial, and supplies for the recipients. She facilitates networking and education of military families. She enlists and trains hundreds of volunteers in a variety of roles and responsibility. She educates the public on the needs of our military and veteran families. And I met Jerry Ann probably 5 years ago, and I have had the honor of seeing her work grow and grow. She is truly a dynamic woman. I'm looking for her. There she is, okay, she's sitting there right there. And she's an honest person, she is a hardworking person, and she has a big heart. So Jerry Ann, thank you for being here today, I appreciate it. And the floor is yours.
So, how close do I have to get to this thing, Jennifer? Super close, okay. I'm just gonna put it on my lapel. So I'm gonna apologize in advance, you guys. I got off the plane last night, came home, went to bed, got up and did this. I was at a 3-day summit for for global leaders that Facebook sponsored, and they've sponsored us to do a program for a year, which I'll get into, but I'm very tired, my throat is very raspy, and I'm extremely emotional. as Jennifer said, thank you, Jennifer and Natalie and Lauren and my friend Ray for being here, because I am not a public speaker. And I love veterans with literally, there are not words to express how much I love everything that you represent. And I'm not lumping you together because I know every one of you has an individual story. I would love to hear it. But when I think of veterans, I think of my dad, who was a high school dropout, had no future. His father had died young. His mother had raised 4 children as a single mom in the very low digits of America history, just after World War II. Got them all through high school, and then, they were on their own. And my dad is not one, to the day that he died, to be one who appreciated structure or discipline, which shocks me that he went in the military, but it was probably that or prison, knowing my dad. And so he joined the Navy, and he met my mom, who had joined the Navy because similar situation. Her parents were alcoholics, could not provide for her. She longed for a better life and a way to impact the world. And so she joined the Navy to get an education, and what she got was a baby. And, in the 60s, the military did not appreciate single moms even less than they do now, and so she was shown the exit door. But she had enough of a benefit package that they were able to both get an education. And they worked hard. They worked really hard, and they went to school at night on the GI Bill. And our first home was because they were veterans. And so literally everything about my life, including my life, I have because of veterans. And so when I say thank you, veterans, it's not just for your story, although I appreciate that. It's because your story is my story. And so thank you. So I'm just curious, how many are Army? Woo! What? What's that? So, disclaimer, my parents were in the Navy. They had a Navy child. They had a Marine son. They had a Navy grandson. And then my son decided that he just didn't want to go the family way and join the Army. And he was, as many of you are, I'm sure, because this is my brother's story as well. He's a very brave man of integrity. I admire him a lot for who he is as a person. But he did not tell his mom that he was joining. He told his mom he was keeping someone else company who wanted information. And it wasn't until years later that he said, Mom, you know that story I told you about going to Subway with the recruiter? Yeah, that was me, not my friend. I'm like, you are such a coward. How can you? But my brother, the same thing. Like, my mom turns on the waterworks, and my brother, the Marine who fought in Desert Storm, cannot say no. So I appreciate that. As a mom, I appreciate that now. Okay, but that's the Army. How about Navy? Did you notice that Army was louder? Guys, have some pride in your branch. How about Marines? Oh, one lonely Marine. I tell you what, though, you guys, he's got all your backs. Nothing new about the Marines for that. How about Air Force? Whoa, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, that's awesome. Any Coasties? Do you guys know that the Coast Guard, any Coast Guard? The largest presence of the Coast Guard is not out there, it's in the Midwest. So I was kind of hoping we'd have one here so I could tell them that and be like, woo, thank you.
He's told he's got injury.
Oh, like injuries from service?
Oh, no, broke his hip. Might be indirectly.
Broke his hip and leg, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's about 80 years old.
Oh, he's a career Coastie?
Oh, yeah.
Good for him. Well, tell him I would have had a huge shout out for him if he was here, but dragging broken limbs, right? Can someone give me like a 3-minute warning? Because I could talk all day once I get up here talking to the people that I love. And so, we were always raised in my family that education was important. It was a given that as a woman, and my mom didn't always necessarily express it appropriately, but what she said was be able to stand on your own 2 feet as a woman, be independent, and bring your whole self into a relationship. And I'm paraphrasing greatly for that. And so one of the ways, because we were dirt poor, man. I mean, my parents had a house, but we never had 2 pennies to rub together a lot of times. So one of the very viable solutions for us was service. And so it was no surprise to me that my brother chose to serve. It certainly was no surprise to me that my sister chose to serve. When a buddy of hers crashed her car and she had no other options, her first option was, I'm going to serve. I was going to go in the Air Force, and they said you have to cut your hair, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So it's kind of ironic that my hair is like definitely in standards now, but I think I'm a little old to do that. And so when we were raising our children, it was also always a story like to serve. There's nothing, I think, more noble that you can do as an American than to serve your country. And my only regret is that for many of our conflicts, that did not translate well to the American people. And one of the people who makes me cry on a regular basis is sitting in this audience, and I'm going to tell you a story. So we formed Military Mama Network mostly because I couldn't find nice people to answer questions for me. I mean, the truth of the story is thus. Because, you know, when you're Navy, you say what? Nothing. Okay, you say, you know, oorah, if you're a Marine, right? So you go into the Army and they say, hooah. So I'm Navy and I'm Marine, and I said, oorah, and they're like, we don't say that here. And I'm like, At which point I went back to my son, I'm like, I don't speak Army apparently. So what's that? Can do.
That's the CDs.
Oh, no kidding. See, I didn't get that part. So you guys can all tell me what you say, but I got busted for being Marine language in an Army group. And so I'm like, I don't want other people to be treated the way I was treated. I need good information, and I need someone who can just stand with me and say, I get this. I get the fear of having a child who serves. I get the unknown of having a child who serves. And I get the pride. And I hate that people say, oh, aren't you so proud? Yeah. Or when I express my fear and they're like, well, you should be proud. I did not know that was mutually exclusive, because I can cry of fear through my tears. When they bombed the embassy and my brother was a Marine and I knew he was on the rapid deployment unit, I cried from fear. Didn't make me any less proud of my brother. You know, and for people to understand that, you know who understands that? Military families and veteran families, that's who understand that. So, that's why Military Mama Network exists. And it really exists just to create a unity and a camaraderie and a network of people that say, can I help you? Can I sit with you? Is there something I can do for you? Not your number, not a preformed label, but you as a person, Ray, I want to matter. I want to do something that matters to you. So whether it's food or clothing or warm blankets or company in the hospital, whether it's cards for our broken coastie that we're going to send to, or whether it's Christmas gifts to military families who cannot afford Christmas because the pay grade has not gone up that much since you guys served. That's what we do, and it's always from our heart, and it's person to person. We have no corporate sponsors. No one's throwing money at me until this week. Facebook threw me a lot of money, but I can't talk about how much. And so we built this from scratch, literally from my backyard, and it has been a struggle this whole time, but I'm so committed that our military families and that our veterans know that there's a network out there that will do anything that we can for you, and if we can find a solution where someone else pays, darn tootin', we're plugging you in, but if we can't, we're going to figure out a way to do it. And so that's how we started. So fast forward a little ways, I was with some friends of mine and said, hey, you guys want to go to a parade with me tomorrow? I'm like doing a flag line for a person who's coming in home from Afghanistan deployment. I told you I was raspy. And so this one gentleman who's typically pretty quiet, and when he's not quiet, he's pretty gregarious, said, I wish they had done that for me. So as someone who grew up in the 60s and 70s, you know, you hear the stories and you see the news coverage. But this was my person saying to me, quietly, he's not usually quiet, I wish they had done that for me. And I said to him, Frank, what did they do? And he told me. And it broke my heart in a way that I will never recover. And so then I asked the other two gentlemen in the room, and they told me their experience of coming home from Vietnam. So not only are you in the hell of war, you come home to what is, to me, one of the most shameful moments in American history. No, not just not a thank you, but you should have never been spit on. You never should have had egg. You shouldn't have had to hide your uniforms on the other side of security. And so for these men who I loved so much, I said, could we just send them cards? Just thank yous. I don't care what you say, just say thank you. And so we did. 20 maybe, tied them up in a ribbon and gave them to these three gentlemen. Each of them reacted in a very different way, but in a way that literally, when I think about, I cry. And when I lost my phone, my biggest regret was that I lost the voicemail from one of them telling me what it meant to them. And so if no one has ever said thank you to you for your service in Vietnam, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the sacrifices that we can't imagine. Thank you for going months and months without feeling human. Thank you for, do we have any tunnel rats in here? You know, thank you for seeing the worst of things and coming home, taking more horrible treatment from the American people and moving on and being people really of noble character who just want to build a life, right, of stability. And you continue to serve. You continue to serve with different uniforms. You continue to serve in volunteerism. You continue to serve and to lift up the American people and families like mine so that we can stand here and say, on behalf of my 40,000 mamas and men, thank you. But because of what you did, right? Do you have a question?
You brought it up. I just wanted to mention that, how long ago did you send those letters?
4 years ago.
Still have them. The nice tied up in a ribbon, and I just got it. And I look at them every once in a while, I don't even know those people,
Yeah,
but I still get a warm feeling. Thank you.
thank you. I wasn't going to out Ray, but Ray was one of mine. Ray made me cry so hard. I'm trying not to look at it while I'm talking about this. And so it becomes very personal, you know, when people, I want to hear stories because people say, thank you for your service, and then they run on, right? It's not that they're not grateful. It's that they're uncomfortable with the stories. Some of them are painful to hear, and some of them are overwhelming to hear. But one of the things that, how much time do I have? Okay, good. I'm going to cut through all the rest of this stuff. So I'm going to fast forward. So we've been doing this for 5 years. June 24th was the 5th year, and the reason why I know that is because it was my birthday party. It's an easy date to remember. But we formed as a group on Facebook September 11th. We could have formed sooner, we could have formed later, but I chose that date for the significance it has to America and to our service members. So how many of you guys are on Facebook? Oh my gosh, like, could you put your hands way up? Because I feel like I'm the only person in this whole room. Thank you. I'm going to speak to this corner of the room. Facebook. So I formed a group on Facebook because we kept asking for help, right? Hey, for those of you that have served in crappy places, this isn't gonna surprise you. So someone said, we need socks. Our service members are wearing boots, no socks. That is not acceptable to me, so we did a sock thing. And I have no problem guilting people either. I'm like, hey, so it's Black Friday, and while you're out getting toys and goodies for your family, would you mind getting socks for some soldiers that I love? Who's gonna say no to that? So I got lots of socks, and we sent them over. And then we got a call or a letter from a doctor, Air Force doctor, who said, you know, as you may know, people don't leave their barracks or their position of sleep to go on, what's it called, patrol, expecting to be blown up. And so they don't pack things in their pockets to clean themselves. Can you send us stuff to clean our wounded? I just want that to sink in for a minute, you guys. We are sending socks and shampoo and soap so that our wounded, those who serve, those who are grunting through today's version of the Vietnam jungle and the freezing cold of Korea, that's what we're sending. So if in your mind you think that our active duty are being taken care of, to some degree they are, but to many degrees they are not. They go hungry. They don't have socks. We literally send over tampons and toilet paper so that our service members can have their most basic hygiene needs met. So we're not lofty. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you my dream right here, and it is going to go out on the whatever channel that is over there. I want to be in front of Congress. I want to be in front of the state of Illinois, but I want to be in front of Congress, and I want to tell them our stories, our veteran stories of inconsistent care in the VA, our service members' stories of tampons and toilet paper. Our service member family stories of when you shut down the government, we had babies going hungry because our service member families, our junior enlisted, qualify for food stamps while their spouse is deployed in a combat zone. Now, you guys know what that means. You know the pay differences. You know that if they're getting bumped up that much and they've got so much extra differential pay and they still qualify for food stamps, you guys. We are sending Huggies to families. Are you leaving, Natalie? I know you were trying to do quiet, but I'm not quiet. Thank you. Natalie's going to give me a seat in Illinois right there so I can speak. Not an elected seat, just to be clear. That might come up from time to time. And so that's what we do, and that's what we've done for 5 years. Do you need cards? We send cards. You need Huggies? We send Huggies. You're a veteran and you'd like some company? We would love to keep you company. One of my biggest frustrations is I want to get into the VA hospital so that I can sit with people who are there recovering for months, and I cannot get through the doors as a volunteer. So if you know a way, please come see me because I really want to do this. So that's what we did for 5 years. And we're just going along. Like, I'm not particularly outgoing, and really I'm shy, not that it shows today, but it's very true, painfully shy. And so to be put up in front frequently is difficult for me. But I think that the stories are more important than my shyness. And so we do these groups, and it's easier on Facebook. You can put a lot when you're a keyboard warrior, and I gather people and I tell stories. And I did not know that Facebook was noticing. And so Facebook invited me for this group, and I said, heck yeah, Facebook, I'll do that. And then they invited me for another and another and another. And then finally, about 6 months ago, they said, hey, we have this program, would you apply for it? Sure, I'll apply for it. And not knowing what I was applying for. It's kind of like when you guys were like, yes, I will serve, and then you're like, what, wait, let me back up. And so I was one of 15 people in America, one of 3 military groups, and one of 115 worldwide that were invited to go to Facebook headquarters for the launch of a year-long initiative that we can do whatever we want with it according to our community. It has to be meaningful to our community. And so I want to ask you guys today, because I have some ideas, but if there was a piece that's missing, what is it? Because I might be able to make it happen this year. Because I literally was teaching the Facebook powerhouse people how to use Facebook. I was sitting across the table from the woman, I love that it was a woman, who leads Facebook groups, whose husband is a 2-time veteran, who said to me, now I'm like, a little shock and awe, thank you for what you do. We as a network, as a community, representing you, representing our American service members, and I always say this, like my beloved veterans, we have a unique opportunity that has never been afforded. On social media, we have their attention. What can we do for the positive? Because I want to do something that's impactful to our military families, to our military veterans. And I want it to be personal, because we've got this opportunity, you guys. And I appreciate this opportunity, because I can see Jennifer looking at the thing. I appreciate this opportunity to tell you guys thank you, to share a little bit of our story. But I want one last story, and I hope that you all pay very close attention to this story, because it's powerful. And I think it's indicative of what we're dealing with. So we are 1 year into Military Mama Network. We had just done Ray and the other guys' cards and letters. And I get a phone call from someone who's a friend of a friend of a friend, that kind of thing, like, Jerry Ann, I don't know if you can help, but you're the only person that I can think of. I have a friend who I go to church with whose husband killed himself on September 11th. He shot himself upstairs in their bedroom. His blood is still on the wall. His babies are sleeping downstairs in the family room because they cannot afford to go somewhere else. Can you help? My husband had just been diagnosed with cancer. My concern, my heart was with my husband, but how can I say no? Literally, we were out that night to try to forget, and this is what God drops in my lap. I'm like, okay. And so we did. Kelly Moore is the only veteran that I'm aware of, a non-dignitary veteran, that had an honorable transfer. He had a flag-draped coffin at LAX and in St. Louis. He was buried with honors in Missouri, and we were able to bring his family home. And we have been with them ever since. But this was also a family that we were literally sending food and diapers for the babies who had just lost their father because of red tape. We'll just leave it at red tape. And so I know the price and the pain personally that veterans pay that sometimes ends in suicide. And we can talk about suicide all day long, and it's a horrible thing, and my heart breaks for Kelly's pain, for Olivia's continuing pain, and for their babies that will grow up without a father because he couldn't get the help he needed. But what can we do to stop it before the gun, before the pills? What can we do, you guys? Like, I really want to hear, if you have ideas, because otherwise I'm just going to keep telling these stories. We have got to talk about this, not in a number way. I don't care about 22 a day. I care about Kelly Moore. I don't care about Vietnam. I care about Ray. Unless and until we bring our combat stories, our veteran survival, and our family needs down to the names and the stories and the moments, we're not going to make a change. So will you guys help me? If you're on Facebook, find me. I've got cards, I've got pins, I got all that. And find Military Mama Network, and please join us so that we can work together to change the narrative of service in our country, of veterans in our country, and that we drop that number of suicide, and there won't be Kelly Moores to talk about anymore. So thank you for your attention, and thank you for your service.
Well, thank you again, Jerry Ann. As you can say, she's inspiring. You can share your passion with others. It's always very, very important. And, when you care about something deeply, I know it's hard to put it into 15 minutes. So thank you very much. At Military Mama Network, all you have to do is get on Facebook and do a little search, and you'll be able to, even if, just follow along. I want to quickly also thank the American Legion Post here as well. They've been always very gracious as hosting this event for me, and my good friend Dick Schuster, who came today to film it. Again, hopefully we will get more people here. It's just like I said, we're not changing the world here, but the camaraderie is very important to me. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for your service. I think there's more food. You don't have to go. Feel free to mingle, but I do appreciate you being here, and have a wonderful fall. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Solom. I'm representing the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission of Will County. We're located in Joliet, Illinois. We're out here this morning, involved in the community, making sure veterans get the benefits that they have earned and are entitled to. Please come visit us anytime. Our phone number is 815-740-8389. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yvonne King, and I'm a realtor with Inspire Realty Partners. We have a program called Inspire Heroes, where we are giving back to our heroes, which are the veterans, active military, firefighters, police officers, teachers, and healthcare workers. So if you or any of those people are looking to buy or sell a home, we give back 25% of our commission on a purchase. It's a cash in your pocket, free money. We give 25% discount off the commission on a sale of your house if you're listing your home. We have lenders that give discounts for your appraisals. We have title companies that give discounts. We have lawyers that are offering discounts as well, as a way of saying thank you for all that you do for us and for this country, as our way of giving back to you. If you would like to reach me, my number is 630-640-2107. My name again is Yvonne King with Inspire Realty Partners. Thank you.
Good morning. We're here in Plainfield, Illinois at the American Legion Post. My name is Bob Grember, and I represent Honor Flight Chicago. Honor Flight Chicago has been in existence since 2008, and we fly World War II veterans and Korean veterans to Washington, D.C. for a day of honor. Tentatively, next year we'll be flying Vietnam veterans. Usually every year we have around 6 or 7 flights. Usually we fly from April all the way through September or October. To date, we have flown over 8,000 veterans in the Chicagoland area. On every flight, every veteran gets a guardian. A guardian will be with that veteran all day, will take care of all his needs. And also on every flight, we have 7 nurses and 2 doctors. Our medical staff, during the day, our medical staff, any veteran on the flight that needs his oxygen level check or a sugar count, our nurses will do that. And we also provide oxygen for any veteran that needs it, because the airlines do not allow you to bring your own canister aboard. To receive an application, if you're not at an event where we're at, you can go online to honorflightchicago.org.